If it's not the earthquakes or the hurricanes or the massive amounts of fires, looting, all of the crime that's happening, and all the World Economic Forum BS that's in the world, now we have alien spaceships that are careening their way to Earth, says a Harvard scientist. Yeah. So it's not just a kook anymore. It's not just like that weird lady on TikTok that's like, the aliens are coming. They're going to. Blah, blah, blah. No, this time it's actually a Harvard University scientist that's saying it possibly could be like 7-mile long alien spaceship headed towards Earth, and it might go around Earth and use the sun as a slingshot. Yeah, that's what's happening. So I'm a little late on this one. It happened like 2 weeks ago or something like that, and we're going to be watching it now because it's just absolutely ridiculous. And yeah, anyway, let's take a listen.
Difficult to spot. There aren't many that are passing through the solar system, but this one is quite unusual. It's relatively bright, meaning that it has, if it's a solid object, has a diameter of 20 kilometers. That's bigger than Manhattan Island. And there isn't enough material in rocks in interstellar space to give us such a giant rock once per decade. That's the duration of the survey of the sky. We expect once per 10,000 years such a giant rock. And so the question is, what is it? Now, people argue that it must be a comet, but for a comet, you usually see a cometary tail trailing behind it. In this case, the deepest image that we had with the Hubble Space Telescope revealed that it has glow in front of it, not behind it. And then the trajectory of this object is extremely unusual, fine-tuned. It lies in the plane of the orbits of the planets around the sun to within 5 degrees. The chance for that happening at random is 1 in 500. And then it comes at a very special time when it passes close to Mars, Venus, and Jupiter. The chance of that happening for this object to pass so close to these as they move around the sun is 1 in 20,000. And when it gets closest to the sun, the Earth would be on the opposite side, so we can't observe it. That could be on purpose if it wants to do some maneuver, taking advantage of the sun's gravity or sending probes to the inner planets. So it looks quite unusual. It came from a direction where there are lots of stars in the sky. That's why we had a hard time identifying it. The question is it technological?
Well, it could be. Or is it possible it is a comet and the tail, you might not see it right now, but the closer it gets, you might see the tail. You might then say, oh, it is a comet. That's a possibility too?
It is a possibility, but we don't see any trace of gas around it, no fingerprints of molecules or atoms. So the question is, does it really look like a comet? And of course, as it gets closer to the sun, it will warm up and we should be able to see clearer signatures if it is a comet. I have a scale that I invented for the purpose of this object, where 0 would be a natural object and 10 would be a definitely technological object. I give it a 4 right now. Okay. And within the coming months, we might realize that it's actually a 0 if it looks like it's a natural object, or a 10. If it's a 10, then the question is, what do we do about it? And it comes closest to the sun on the 29th of October. It may well be that if we realize it's technological, the stock market will crash because there will be a huge uncertainty.
What do we do? Okay, that's the question. First of all, A, what do you do to find out what it is? And B, if it is what you think, what do we do?
Right. So the response has to depend on its properties and its intent. What is it doing as it comes closer to us? And it's just like having a visitor in your backyard. You can't decide about the policy for all visitors. It really depends on the intent of the visitor, and it's just next door. So it's not like getting a radio signal from a star that is thousands of light years away, where we would have plenty of time to decide how to respond. And I believe that we need an international organization that will make policy decisions about such an object. We are worried about existential threats from artificial intelligence, from global climate change, from an asteroid impact, but we never discuss alien technology.
No, I mean this is now taken it to a different level. I don't really know what to say other than perhaps. I mean, we've spoken before. You've sold me on the fact we need to study this, and using what we have up there to potentially study this before it actually arrives or as it arrives. You make a compelling case, sir.
Okay. There's a lot of bold theories here, and my favorite out of that whole video is him saying that if we discover that it's aliens, the stock market's gonna crash. Why? Because everyone's just gonna sell all their money and try to build like bunkers or something. Like why is it gonna crash, buddy? Why is it gonna crash? What's gonna happen? It is interesting that he's saying that there's no gas behind it like a meteor, but he's also saying it's the size of Manhattan. So like would the trail even be the same as a smaller meteor if it's the size of Manhattan? Like wouldn't the size of Manhattan be pushing like more mass through the sky, which would indicate like a glow in the front instead of a glow in the back because there's so much mass that's pushing through. I don't know. I'm not a scientist. It's kind of a little intriguing that this guy is a Harvard scientist, and he's got a scale, University of Hawaii, which I think is hilarious because I'm going to be in Hawaii when they find out more information of this. Like they said, it's going to be reaching Earth around that time, or this orbit of the sun around that time. I'm going to be in Hawaii, so maybe I'll go look up this scientist. I thought this is Atlas University of Hawaii. I thought he's a Harvard scientist. I think he is a Harvard scientist. I don't think he's Harvard's AVI low web. Okay, yeah, exactly. It's interesting. I did think that there was something else interesting. So this video here, right? So let me just play it real quick.
Jeremy Corbell told us this would happen.
All indications, like all of them, is that lie is going to be that there is a craft slowly making its way to us here on Earth. And that is the lie they're going to want you to believe.
This was 6 months ago. And now what is all over all the headlines? There is a giant craft making its way to Earth. This isn't disclosure. This is the setup. If Corbell was right, we are watching the playbook unfold in real time. The question really is, if the craft is the lie, then what is already here or happening?
It's a super good point, though. Like, it's a super good point, though, that so many people, including Elon Musk, said that like we have not seen anything come from space. I'm a big firm believer in if there is something out there, it's either interdimensional, which they can go from one dimension to another dimension, which is why sometimes you see them like, come in and out of existence kind of thing. Two, I think that there's a big possibility that they could be hiding in mountains, and then also under the sea, because we can't get underneath the sea. So something could actually be here already, and we just don't know it. I don't know. This could be the lie, and then they're about to announce something's happening, or this is just another way for the WEF, the World Economic Forum, to get people back in their homes and have another like vid situation, if you know what I'm saying, where people are I don't know. But it's a strange time, especially with AI being as good as it is. I mean, just look at this video. I mean, like, I can't tell. I can't tell if this is real or not real. I mean, like, if you're in the comments here telling me like, oh, that's super fake, that's AI, how do you know? Because people have put this through AI testers and debunk testers and stuff like that and said that they couldn't tell. The only thing that I would say it's probably AI is that it's only a 10-second video, which is the amount of time that you get when you make these videos. You get like 10 seconds. Otherwise, you have to pay a lot more money for more time. If this was a real video, wouldn't they be videoing this thing for, minutes, however long it's in the sky, and find out what else is happening? Wouldn't they be talking? There's no talking. I'm not going to play it because there's music, but they'd be talking. But it looks freaking real, dude. And we're getting to that point where there's just going to be so much, stuff with AI that we're not going to understand like what's happening, So I don't know. I just wanted to get on here and play that clip of that guy real quick, see what you guys had to think. What you think? Do you think it's a meteor, or do you think it's an alien spaceship coming to destroy us all? Let me know in the comments below. I'll catch you in the next one.